will see these symbols now as we go along. That's the boat. That's propagation, management. The core values is the balance. If you think of a scull, you see a lot of scullers, that the oars are really necessary for balance, not just movement, but also balance. You just topple over. I did sculling for a year, I would topple over very often. So I said, no, 1 year, that's enough. Third thing is your desire. That's the currents in the water. Reflection, that's your inner self. So that's represented by the reflection. And finally, these navigators, they're going all colors, sizes, shapes of people you have to relate to. There are so many navigators in the book. And we'll talk about a set of 6 archetypes which kind of cover most of the people you run across. These are attributes. They're kind of like Plato's model, you know, the form from which other units are punched out, Plato's. So what's the first principle? Very simple, purposeful action. Define the action, the purpose. There are 3 steps to doing that. Plan the action, which most managers do. You plan and you execute. That's what managers do, plan and execute. But the purpose may or may not fit in with the organization sometimes. They're doing their own private agenda, that won't work. And finally, that's the quality component, although quality starts with step 1, or phase 1. It's assess and renew. And renewal means reinforcing with proper rewards. I gave a talk, and it's on one of my websites, on application of purposeful action to quality control. And my exact words were, American corporations are notorious for rewarding negative behavior with positive rewards, especially if it's to themselves. And if you heard about everything in the papers and things that, and Obama said almost verbatim the same thing 3 years later. But you know, I'm not the first to say it, and certainly Obama will not be the last to say it, because no matter what, you're going to have people who will continue to do that. It's totally outrageous, of course, but this is the way people work, because they don't think about ethics. They learn in business school goal-oriented, and I say you should not be driven by goals, because goals represent fruit. Goal is just a milestone to measure your progress, and it's a very important element in action, but really one has to be driven by vision, what you truly believe. And the goals will only tell you how close you are to your vision. If you end up looking for goals, then you know the last election where Hillary Clinton suddenly said the goal was to get elected rather than to do what's right for the economy. So let's do a gas holiday, gas tax holiday. That's goal-oriented thinking. And look where it got her. But now, interestingly enough, as we proceed, we applied this bookmaster to some politicians also. So you'll see how Hillary Clinton flares, you know, shows up in comparison to it. How are we doing for time? I'm okay? I'm about halfway done. I can conclude any minute. Okay, framework for purposeful action. So these are the 4 steps. Now I promised you I'll bring in Volkswagen thing. So I was thinking about vision. So what's Volkswagen's vision? They want to be a leader, sure, that's more like a goal. But what they want to do is put the Volkswagen brand and the set of the Volkswagen keys, just like you know, Lexus tries to do in every household. That's what they want to do. What does Volkswagen mean? Wagon of the people. Kind of like the Ford vision, isn't it? Wagon of the people. So I would say now, I don't profess to understand their strategy or everything, but I'm going to say what if. I'm just going to apply. So let's say their vision is to become a leading supplier of transportation systems, automobile mostly, to the world. So that's their vision. So does coming to Chattanooga fit with their vision? Yes. How do you do that? In step 2, you look at a reality check. They realize that they ship a large, if not the bulk of their automobiles, maybe other than Europe, to United States. And from here, they can ship to other places. Then they look at the quality of labor, look at the tax incentives. So this SWOT means strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats of the project. And they did all that analysis. Included in the analysis what you and I will pay for them, right? Taxpayers. So we pay, we subsidize. And then they look at the vision. They want a good quality headquarters where people will come. Why did we participate in the vision? We wanted jobs. We want to become international because we want the improvements and all the beauty of Chattanooga to share with the world. It'll bring in a lot of tourists, it'll bring in a lot of visibility, it has already. So that's a shared vision, you see, not just people. working. Say, hey, I'm going to get a better job. You're doing environmental groundwork. You want to say, hey, maybe there'll be jobs for us to do. In any case, there'll be more work. So that is step 2. So step 3 was commitment. The governor made a commitment. The local politician made commitment. The people kind of showed their support by rallying around. The newspaper made its commitment. Welcome all over the place, you know. So that's phase 1. That was, remember, the first little block in that kayaker, right? So purpose was good purpose. Second, set goals. They have a goal. They'll get the groundwork broken. Goals are, you know, when will they start producing? That's the biggest goal. How many units will they produce? You hear those kind of projections. Those are goals. But they should not be driven by goals if the phase 1 is not complete. Under strategy, I don't profess to know their strategy, but one of their strategies is to locate the plant close to the market. Second thing is go where there's no union problem. Third thing is go where the people want you. Fourth thing is create an environment where we can hire top executives. Remember they were talking about how they like the people, how they like the, you know, they were wine and dine in the Hunter Museum, etc. They like all that. So that was all part of their strategy. We're going to have a successful plant. That's their strategy. The other strategy may be suppliers, you know, take all the key components from Europe, build local suppliers here, set up their plants, make sure they're all part of that whole, you know, campus, right? I'm just saying what it, I haven't researched this except for 10 minutes in the shower, and then I came and plugged that picture from the thing. But you're getting the idea how it would apply. I tell my students, anything you want to do, take this template and linear. You want to do a business plan. I was talking to UB the other day. I said, apply the 12 steps. It's just a template, if nothing else. I think it's a lot more than that, but you take it like a template, it's a checklist. Engineers like checklist, this is one. And I think I can assure you, over the years, students have done projects, they've compared it. In fact, you know, one of your projects now in class is to compare it, take a management book and compare this and just put them side by side. You know, like marketing people do, check, yes or not, compare this. So you're welcome to do that. Plan of action, that is the plan. That plan includes the ground digging and all, and the communication channels, you know, online. I have a link to their YouTube, but when I went to the site, I found that. You can actually go on to the net and find out exactly how that stuff is progressing. The organization, you know, that's who will do what. You know, what's the city going to do, what's Volkswagen going to do, what the ground people will do, what the design people are going to do. That's organization. Then assign resources. You decide how much money for where. Everybody puts their chips together. And then there is guidance and direction. That's with somebody. There's a communication person, and there's a CEO or president of the Volkswagen America Chattanooga project. So that's how, and that person will guide, right? So these steps, all these things have to be put together. Finally, phase 3. And if you notice, we're still in the first principle, right? So I showed a lot of stuff in there, but you just need to remember these 4. And that is that assess. Do an assessment. How often do you think they're doing it at Volkswagen? Continuously. They get live feed. There you go. That's assessment. So if something goes haywire, you can fix it before it gets too late. That is very smart. Most people feel threatened if you're looking at with their shoulder finding out what's going on. Some of these girls are working on the website with me. I keep on top of them. All I'm doing is assessing. Don't get obsessed if somebody assesses. Assessment is very important. Continuous. How do you get continuous improvement if you don't do continuous measurement? The biofeedback loops in electronic devices. What do you think these smart bombs are? They constantly